We all know GELT is supreme, but today we are out to prove it. And no, this is definitely isn't just a flimsy excuse for a murder spree. So today in Warhammer 3, we will burn cities, murder thousands, and make money out of it. Without further ado,
let us begin.
Now we start our game in China, but we need to go back home. The early game isn't too exciting, so I will skip some parts. In long story short, we recruited 2 wizards with GELT's unique mechanic that I will talk about later, raise another army that I will use later, and hunt down some rebels. After defeating the rebellion, we are presented with a choice. We can form an alliance with Zaming and keep the lands we have taken, or give the lands to him, receive a large sum of money and return to Empire with all our armies. Staying here with this much land and a strong alliance seems logical, but money and a triumph homecoming awaits us. These options gives us nice set of buffs, but most importantly, I don't have to pay my soldiers for 10 turns. With that, we are back.
Empire's blessings, yes.
We might be back from our little vacation, but now we are homeless. And fear not, cause I know a man that have some solid settlements. And if you played Warhammer before, close to the Empire region, you will know the man I am talking about is this blood-sucking cunt. His name is Vlad von Karstein, his occupation is part-time electricant of Sylvania, full-time a pain in the ass for every living human in the Empire. And I have a personal grudge against this corpse bug. This, my friend, was not an insult. His wife is undead too. Now, this is the perfect time to explain GELT's unique mechanic. If you don't know, GELT is the supreme patriarch of the Empire. He is kind enough to remind you once in a while when you select him on the campaign map.
I am the supreme patriarch.
That means he is in charge of all the mages of Empire. So, he has access to colleges of magic. Here, we can draft new wizards to our armies, perform strong magical rituals, and craft unique equipments for our mages. We do this with using arcane essays, and we gain arcane essays by killing people. In a nutshell, we kill people, gain books, make magic with said books to kill people more easily, and repeat that process. With that said, using those arcane gifts and strong spells, I will steal Vlad's home. And this castle is defended by, you guessed it, undead, that controlled by vampires. So, as Americans say, I will bring them freedom. And also, defending forces forget they are defending and start attacking us while we hold the gaps in the walls. I mean, I'm not blaming them. If I get hit by several spells, I will do the same. Nevertheless, we capture the city. Now, we have a new capital with 10 building slots and the hatred of a homeless man. And we need to stop the homeless man for good. So I sent GELT a note to confront him. Against Vlad, losing this many soldiers in auto-resolve is not good. But I will not fight this man manually, because a head-on battle will be a disaster. He can wipe out my entire army while regenerating health. And he also have his wife with him. Considering we stole their home, she is more than happy to stab us. So I nearly sacrificed all of my forces to defeat Vlad, but at least I confronted Sterland. And this cunt is just like William Afton. His wound recovery time is 1 turn. That means, even if you defeat him, next turn he will be back. Just like I said, he is back. However, I have already gathered a better army for GELT and now I can fight against Vlad without letting hundreds of men die. But while I was preparing for a direct battle, Vlad decided to dive bomb Griswold's army and killed himself. To be honest, I had no right winning that fight. However, with GELT taking Castle Tempelhof and Griswold finishing off Vlad, Sylvania is no more. Now, we have defeated one great evil in the Empire, but 2 literal demons are still waiting to be banished. Before dealing with them, I completed 3 quest battles for GELT and finished this set. As quest battles, they were not eventful, so I will skip them, except this one. Saving these 2 took me 3 attempts. They die way too easily for 2 men with 15 fucking books written about them. I mean, one of them is trying to kill himself. And enemy forces are not that bad considering they are sex demons. They are designed to fuck you, not fuck you up. Their Lord Valglagit's pronouns are fuck me though. Lastly, if you can't kill these cunts, you can't win. The game turns into a horde defense. And you know how I win this? I tried to burn Godric to death myself, and somehow it fucking worked. And if you wonder who these 2 are, you can read the books. Okay, let's get back to topic. With this victory, GELT's army is complete. This lineup will not change because these 6 are enough to kill everything. And with that, we send GELT to deal with Festus, catching him at Kurgenheim. His army is no match for Chadness of GELT. And I write this part just to use this picture. Here it is again. And while I was pushing from the south, the Emperor himself was pushing from the west, and in just 5 turns, we killed Festus. With that, the remaining threat is Changeling, who seems to have a problem. He hasn't moved since I consolidated Stirland. For 18 turns, he was just standing there. I don't know if Zinch himself played a cruel joke on him, but fearing the worst, I bring Otto and Griswold together to jump him. And he is dead, destroying the remaining trickster cults, and the deceivers are gone. With that, the Empire is safe. Hold up, where's GELT? Alright, I will be honest with you. Everything I said at the start of the video was just a flimsy excuse for a murder spree. The real reason we are here to use Ulthuan as a base while we deal with other races and murder elves. But I am disappointed. I was waiting for a strong Ever Queen that already claimed Sword of Cain. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't going to take the sword and use it for myself. I was planning to seal it and make fun of Cain and show him how to properly murder people without using a divine weapon. I can still do this, but I wasn't planning to murder more sex demons. This thing is the legendary Lord of Sylvania, and about its lore and why it is here in Ulthuan, I don't care, so I'm gonna act like I'm illiterate. And we face against it at Shrine of Kurun. Yes, I am actually illiterate. The other results said it's a close victory with low casualties, so the fight was. And who will have guessed getting burned repeatedly with a spell that turns you into gold and fighting Gotrek makes you very dead. After our victory, to keep the momentum going, I summoned a new Celestial Wizard, put him in GELT's army and used Celestial this. I'm not even gonna try to read that. That spell replenishes an army's action points and gives us a chance to push deeper into enemy territory. Next turn I brought back the Jade Wizard, used Restoration to replenish all our units and capture Thorakre. Meanwhile, I watched demons make a last-ditch effort to defend Elysia. It did not work. While Altarion finished up the remaining demons, I began preparations for taking over Ulthuan. I recruited Albric, captured Thorannek and seized the Phoenix Gate. The first one to realize what I was up to was Alariel, who promptly declared war on me. But she was strength rank 87, and we are
Supreme.
Unfortunately for her, declaring war on me and staying in GELT's reach is just another way of suicide. So we defeated her and moved east to take her capital, while Albric took her settlements at west. Apparently killing their wife upset both Tyrion and Altarion, who now want to have a little chat with us, using their chosen language of violence. Unfortunately for them, I'm very fluent in it. So to defend the other islands against Altarion, I recruited Bruno, and in just next turn, while taking Alariel's last settlements, I spotted Altarion right outside of Thorakre. I put every regiment of Renav I could into the Bruno's army and hoped for the best. To my surprise, Bruno came on top, and Altarion dive-bombed into the city was like a World War II Japanese pilot. After the victory, I further reinforced Bruno's army with a Bright and Amethyst Wizard. With Bruno securing a border against Altarion, I sent GELT to kill Tyrion. And I found myself disappointed again. I thought Tyrion posed a challenge against us, but GELT was already level 40 and our other heroes were close behind, while Tyrion was just level 20, and even against 2 elf armies and a garrison we decimated them. Back to Bruno, there was another elf army right outside our gates. I can't fucking talk. To deal with them, our Amethyst Wizard cast Shy Storm, which is a giant middle finger to any nearby armies, reducing their health. With that, we wiped out another elf force, streamrolling our way across Ulthuan, except for Albric. He died heroically while defending that we rightfully stole. He won't be remembered, because the next turn Rodriguez placed him. Losing an army is not enough to stop us. To prove that, GELT and Bruno keep pushing forward, capturing new settlements and slaughtering elves. However, Moretti must have caught wind of our actions, because she has already made landfall at White Peak. This could have been a great opportunity to form an alliance until all high elves are dead. But I am too racist for that. Now, I have skipped some parts, but let me catch you up. Bruno is currently sieging Altarion's capital, Rudiger is defending the Unicorn Gates, and GELT has taken Tol Elri. With that, the inner island is ours, and I am confident Bruno can handle Altarion. So I sent GELT to take Griffin Gate to start pushback Vanity. I don't know for else if our walls are what light bulbs to moths, because next turn Moretti dives straight into the walls at Unicorn Gate, which of course makes her very dead. Then her second army tries the same thing at Thorannek. Sigmar must be blessing us, because there is no way I should have won that. With Moretti gone, we easily take her settlements. Now back to Bruno, he got pushed back, so I cast Chalice Storm to continue the siege. Then, in a surprise move, Altarion decides life isn't for him anymore. He leaves his walls to attack us and promptly dies. The last remaining resistance on Ulthuan is the White Lion. In true elf fashion, she charges headfirst into the garrison city and dies. I guess that's just an elf thing. And lastly, with the fall of Shrine of Loek, Ulthuan is ours. Meanwhile, things in the Empire aren't exactly smooth. Yes, we have defeated enemies inside, but just beyond our borders there is still plenty of people who want to stab us. But only one of them has balls to fight against the strongest in the game, and he's Rot the Unclean One. Now, dear watcher, if we are going to make this relationship work, there is something you need to know about me. I hate rats. Not in a murderous rampage every time I see one kind of way. It's more like I ignore them until they become too big of a problem to deal with, then cry myself to sleep, knowing there are probably more than one hiding under my bed. But this time I'm hunting them down before they get too comfortable. I cancel Norland's independent subscription, and with their army, I start chasing down Blight. Meanwhile, I send our old friend Otto to deal with the Trot, while preparing Griswold's army to burn down the Wood Elves. But before we can do that, Trot must have taken a page out of Elf's playbook, because just like them, he dives into the city walls. By this point, I am well aware that we are bullshitting our way through most of the encounters. But I don't care, because I killed a lot of rats, and Otto is showing their settlements and Trot the business end of a Warhammer. While Otto keeping rats at bay, Griswold launched a surprise invasion to the Wood Elves and took their tree. We took surrounding settlements pretty easily too. Draiche, however, against these advances, took the big heaven and died in it. Back to GELT and the boys. They are now steamrolling over Dark House until Moratti cornered Bruno, and the fight was... Bruno will be missed. So GELT go forth for vengeance and took Petrified Fortress. While waiting for the next turn, Moratti dived into the city walls and... No. This is personal. Now we station ourselves at the right side of the map and face Moratti's army directly. She hit her army with spells, so we did the same. With just one spell, Moratti's front line is banished to Kingdom Come, while rest of her army either forcefully turned into gold by GELT or pelted by rocket launchers. My plan was mainly using my heroes to defeat Moratti for our army to face against the reinforcements. With that, I sent Simon to fight Moratti while sending Gotrek and Felix to kill Hydras, and using GELT to deal damage and support others. Moratti died rather quickly, but because of my lack of brain power, I let a Hydra pass all of my front line and watched it kill my rocket batteries. Other than that, we killed rest of the Moratti's army and get ready for the reinforcements, and they never properly reached us. I mean, their cavalry hit us and their Hydra committed suicide, but with a lot of magic, else apparently die very easily. Even look here, GELT is committing war crimes. Now, Moratti lost all of her armies and her capital left wide open, so we went and took it. With the fall of Quintex, Moratti lose. And while I went on to capture our remaining settlements, we achieved long campaign victory. Oh fuck.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
You see, while I was starting this campaign, I forget to uncheck this box right over here. I thought I still got at least 30 turns to fuck around, but now I need to survive end of the world and only have 10 turns to prepare. So we started devising a plan. Luckily, Ulthuan do not spawn any crisis armies, thus our mission is hold on to our 4 main cities in the Empire. Our capital, Castle Tempelhof, Wurtband, and Everheim. Whatever. If we can keep this standing, we might just survive the apocalypse. With that in mind, I started to spend my money. I located Marius at Drakenhof, Philip at Tempelhof, Rudy at Wurtband, and Marcus at Eschan. As for Otter, I had to leave him behind to deal with that rat problem. Spending our remaining time to prepare for our defense, and with just 1 turn remaining, our defenses are in place, our garrisons are ready they will ever be, and now all we can do is wait. Chaos Dwarfs, Wood Elves, Greenskins, Skaven, Vampire Guns, Tomb Kings, and the Dwarves. What do they all have in common? They all want me dead. Now our capital is nearly as crowded as a small Chinese apartment, and the mountains are filled with murderous short people, and somehow Wood Elves are back. Looking at this, the toaster sitting next to my bathtub is calling to me. As for my plan, I say fuck it, we ball. But don't worry, I got some tricks up my sleeve. Trick 1, I cast Shy Storm. And our first strike comes from Philip, hitting an isolated army, followed by Marcus and Marius, wiping out 2 more. Then the main event, our Panzer Division plus the garrison, faces off against 4 vampire armies. At the field of battle, as I'm operating on 3 total brain cells, using this many tanks is certainly a challenge. So I just parked them here and let them shoot at the incoming vampires. You know, even against horrors beyond the grave, I am in a tank and you're not is a very compelling argument. But this tactic worked for a little while, cause they had more bodies to throw at us than we had guns, so their carefully prepared corpse wave tactics almost overrun our tanks. But thanks to our garrison and a little bit of fire, we won the fight. Nevertheless, this battle cost me 2 tanks, but it cost them 4 armies. Still, we got 3 more vampires armies to deal with, plus a lot of dwarves, Wood Elves, and next time Otto watches Rotatouille, he will get PTSD. So every loss we take is one we can't afford. With that, I passed the turn and some vampires dived into the garrison, Wood Elves took their tree back with another settlement, and at the start of the turn, we find on the Empire map, which is another reminder how fucked we are. While at our capital, vampires are replaced with short people, so we face them with our 3 armies with garrison against their 4 armies. While at the start of the battle with my Hellstorm, I thought it would be easy. Our reinforcements came from the same point and there is already chaos in place, but our tanks managed to enter the battle. I once again parked them on top of a hill, and at that point I noticed something. My Hellstorm were destroyed and their heavily damaged infantry was clashing with my front lines and somehow winning. While dwarves keep coming and they do not stop coming, I was hitting them with spells and they stay unfazed. My only cavalries to disrupt the back lines of dwarves are locked out of battle, and we are losing ground faster than the French. And one of my 3 brain cells said bye bye, my cavalry get into the fight, but it was too late, our whole army was heavily damaged and fresh dwarves keep coming. And before long, we lost. Nevertheless, we managed to inflict major losses to dwarves. Thanks to that, Marcus managed to defeat 2 dwarf armies. With that, I passed the turn. I lost 4 settlements, 2 armies, at least Marcus managed to intercept the dwarf army. But at this point, we fended off the vampires and the dwarfs of Zufbar. But the wood elves are still out there causing problems and we are not looking great. And with only 2 forces resembling an army left to defend ourselves, things are starting to fall apart. There are still dwarf armies roaming around, wood elves are rampaging across our lands, Karak gathering could strike at any moment, and Skywind understeers are popping up everywhere. Sure, we got money to rocket new armies, but that takes time that we don't have. Furthermore, we are losing ground fast, and all we can do is to finish off the remaining vampire armies while praying the dwarves don't overrun us. But as a firm believer that the best defense is a good offense, I sent Otter to take the Griffinwood and distract the wood elves from grabbing more territory. While turn passing, another enemy army dives into the garrison. At this point it became a running gag. Between losing a few more settlements to the dwarves and Otter losing his army to the wood elves, things were looking bleak. But we weren't completely out of the fight yet. Marcus took Zufbar, we managed to push back the dwarves at Everheim and got time to recruit new armies. We still lost some settlements here and there, but the important thing, our major cities were untouched, our coffers were full, and Marcus was busy taking dwarf settlements near our borders. And Marcus was making good progress, and our 2nd Panzer Division was nearly ready. It was almost time for our counterattack. Luckily for me, the elves still couldn't resist diving into the walls. Meanwhile, Karakadrin's Doomstick was busy taking my settlements, but we had plans of our own. GELT is finally here, back to his favorite hobby of killing elves. The wood elves tried to throw their last armies at him, but they failed miserably. With that, our counterattack began. The Panzer Division wiped out 2 dwarf armies and reclaimed Eschen. GELT took Griffinwood and Marcus finished off the dwarves of Zufbar. Now, about that Doomstick. It's becoming a real pain in the ass. Even with 2 armies I can't defeat it, and they already defeated one of my armies. So I arranged a meeting to introduce them to GELT. GELT said Power World killed, they responded with Power World what? With that, we quickly dispatch all enemies and there is no major threat left in the Empire. And we have started capturing the warkeeps. But I've got to admit, I've been recording for 11 hours, my ass has been flattened and my remaining 2 brain cells are duking out to keep me sane. So either I wrap this up or I am making friends with that toaster sting next to my bathtub. And also, GELT and I have enough books to finish our research on making anime girls real. So with that said, one last fight. Yeah, this was fight. And with that, my friends, I'm cutting this campaign short. And if you got any crazy challenges to push me further into madness or anything you wanna share, meet me in the comments. And thank you for watching.